My friends, this is the second video on the data type. If you didn't watch the first video, you can click on the description, the link is given, you can watch from there. Now without wasting the time, let's continue our data type questions. So the question says convert the dollar to rupees. Problem statement is write a program to convert the US dollar to Indian rupees. The conversion rate is 82.73. Input format is the input value should be in a floating point number. Output should be in INR format. Now let's code it. First of all, we have to create a class. Now we have to give a class name. Class name can be anything. So dollar to rupees. Now we have to create a main method, that is public static void main and string arguments. After that, the main method is always enclosed into the main class. Now after that, we have to take the value from the user, so that we have to create a scanner object. Scanner sc equal to new scanner system dot in. Now after this object is created, the code of this object is not necessary to write, because this code is already been written. So we just import the code of the scanner. So import java.util.scanner. The code of the scanner class is located in java.util. After that, we will import the input of the user. So the input of the user should be in a floating point. So for that, we will write the value, that is USD. This is nothing but a variable. We will write a data type later on for your understanding. So equal to, what should be the USD? So the reference SC is taken from here. So SC dot next. In next, we should not write here int as before, because this is a floating value. So here you should write a float like this, so that the floating variable can be taken as an input. Now here, if you write float here, you have to write float here as well. Now after writing float, the user have to give a floating value while getting the output. The input value should be in a floating variable, or the floating value should be given. Now after this, the rate is given, so we write r equal to, the rate is already given, so we'll directly write this rate 73. Now what should be the data type for this? The data type for this should absolutely be float. Now if you write float here, you have to give f here also. Now after writing this thing, we have to go down again. After that, we have to calculate the value in INR. So you have to give INR equal to, obviously, R into USD. After this, you just give a semicolon. So INR should be in an integer or floating format. Obviously float. Why? Because after calculation of the floating value and the rate value, it should obviously be the decimal format. So you have to give a float at front of the INR. So just print that system dot out dot print what? INR. Now if you run this, you will get something to write. So you write here 2.3 for example, press enter, you will get the output 190.279. Now what if you have to get only the 2 decimal value, not the 3 decimal value? For that, you need to make changes here. Now what changes you make in INR, so that only 2 decimal value will be printed after that? So for that, we will write string str equal to, and after that, what format is this? So this is nothing but, we will write this value, that is percent. We need only 2 decimal value, so percent dot 2f you write here. After that, you give comma and you write here INR, and you write here string dot format. Now the format should be of only 2f, it's saying. Now while printing, you just print str. Now you run this code. Again we write here 2.3, press enter. This time only the 2 decimal is being returned. If you want 4 decimal value, then you can write here 4. If you write here 4, then if you run this, again if you write here 2.3, the output will be in a fourth decimal format. I hope you understand how to increase and decrease the decimal value after this integer value. Now for the next question, refresh this once again and move towards the next question. The next question says, find the perimeter of the rectangle. The formula is perimeter equal to 2 into length plus width in a bracket. Now to solve this, again open the compiler, remove all these codes and start writing. So what is the formula to calculate the perimeter of the rectangle? That is 2 into length plus width. First line should be length and second line should be width. So first of all, we have to take as the class. In this case, the length and width should be integer value. Previously, we have coded in the floating value. Why I am focusing in this is because we are learning data type and you should know where to use integer and where to use float. So class name should be given. So rectangle, and inside the class we will write main method, that is public static void main and string arguments. After this we will create an object, that is scanner sc equal to new scanner and system.in. Just by heart this, because this will never change, only this will change, and this you can put any you like. So now after this you have to import the scanner class. So for that, import java.util.scanner. Now after this you have to take the input from the user in the integer format. So int a equal to, what should be the value? So sc, this sc is a reference dot next int. This time we should have to write int, because when int is here, int should also be here to take the input from the user. Secondly, int b equal to sc dot next int. Now if you look it carefully, length and breadth width is given. So instead of a and b, you can write variable name as length and width for the better clarity. Now after this you should write a formula directly, that is 2 into length as given and width, right? This length is this length, this width is this width. Now give a semicolon. So store in it a new variable. The variable name shall be x, or you can say perimeter like this. After this you just move to the next line and print the system.out.println and perimeter like this. Just run the code and put the two values for length and breadth. So first value is 2, the second value is 3. So the output is 10, that is 2 plus 3, 5 into 2, 10. So the code executed successfully. If the programmer asks you or the interviewer asks you to make changes to this as a floating point, so what you can write here instead, you can write here float instead of int. Float you have to write, and here also you have to write float, and here also you have to write float. After writing the float value, the perimeter should also be float, so you have to write here also float, and after this you can get the output. Let's run this and check the code. Now the first value is like 2.1, the second value is like 3.1, so the output is 10.4. This is the expected output. I hope you understood the concept. Now let's solve the next question. So just refresh this and switch to the next question. The next question says, find the area of a circle. So area of circle formula is given here, that is pi r square, and the value of pi is 3.14159. Now for this, what you need to do is just open the compiler once again, remove all these codes. Again you should write class area, and here you write a method, that is public static void main and string arguments. After this you write here int. Now what you need to get here, the area, right? So if the pi value is 3.14159, so area should also be in a double format. So what value you need to get? Radius should always be in an integer format. So int r or radius equal to sc dot next int. Now we will create an object, that is scanner sc equal to new scanner and system dot in. Now after this we'll import the scanner class, that is java dot util dot scanner. Now after this we already have a pi value, that is float pi, or you can write here double. Double consumes a lot of memory, but the pi value can be more than a 9 decimal, so we will consider the double here. So double pi equal to 3.14159. now after this the pi value is already there, so the area should also be in double format. So area equal to pi into radius into radius. Now after this just simply print system dot out dot print and area, like this. Now after running this you will be asked for the value. You put the integer value for the radius, that is 2. The output is 12.56636. Now as you know how you can get only the 4 decimal values or only the 3 decimal values after the 12. So to achieve that you create here string str equal to string dot format, and you write here percent dot how many value you want to achieve after the decimal 3 values. So you write here 3f and comma you write here this variable name area, because that is the final calculation. So press enter, and after this just write here str and just run it. Again you write 2 here. Now you get only the 3 decimal value after this decimal.